Majority Leader Thune, always good to have you here. Thank you for being here, sir.
Hi, Martha.
Hi there. So, but despite the fact that this one big beautiful bill passed, which was not, it was a pretty heavy lift and it went through, and we've just heard, and we can put up on the screen, the 53 million Americans who are claiming these tax exemptions that were in this bill that they're benefiting from. What we're hearing from Democrats is that, that's actually not what's happening. They're saying that Americans are going to pay more in their taxes. James Tellerico, Pete Aguilar, all of these Democrats are out there today with a completely opposite message. What's your take?
I think the Democrats are they must be making it up or creating out of thin air. The numbers don't lie, Martha. And the returns that are being filed this year, on average, the refunds are 24% higher than they were during the Biden administration. Mm-hmm. And if you're somebody who claims a deduction for tipped income, overtime, or if you're a senior who's taking the new increased standard deduction, you're seeing your tax refund up by about 50%. Now, the truth is, the Democrats all voted against this. Mm-hmm. And had we not taken action, there would have been a $4 trillion tax increase on the American people. So I don't know, there's not a sustainable position. There isn't any universe where anything they're saying remotely resembles what the facts are and what the reality is for the American people. The truth is, we prevented a $4 trillion tax increase, and we have 100 million filers in this country who take the standard deduction, the increased standard deduction. We have 34 million American families who claim the child tax credit, which has increased from the doubling of it that we did in the last time we had an opportunity to do tax policy when Republicans had unified control of the government. So these are the changes that have been made that are improving the lives of the American people. And the Democrats, unfortunately, missed out on the opportunity to join us in that. And so now they're trying to come up with an alternative reality, which, again, doesn't come anywhere fitting the facts.
So no doubt this is going to be a central conversation as we get closer to the midterms. And today we got a look from the Cook Political Report, which categorizes whether seats are safe red or safe blue, or whether they're starting to see some movement in another direction. And I want to put this up because obviously these are Senate seats. Republicans enjoy a 4-seat advantage right now, and on the board we see 4 seats that have moved in the blue direction, according to the Cook Political Report: North Carolina, Georgia, Ohio, and Nebraska. What's the reason for that? And do you think that this economic story and the gas prices and all of it will change what we're seeing on the screen right now, Leader Thune?
Martha, I think most people are economic voters. I think they're pocketbook issue voters, and which is why we need to be speaking to them. And the one thing that we've made very plain is because of the things we did last summer, they're going to have more money in their pockets. Now, obviously, what's happening in Iran impacts fuel prices, but we hope those start to normalize as well. But the truth is that most Americans, I think, recognize that when you have Democrats in power, you grow government, you increase taxes, you have less money for yourself because you're sending more to Washington. And we have the opposite view of how things ought to work. And I think eventually, as we get out and have an opportunity to communicate that'll come across to the American people. And they're going to start feeling it more and more in their pocketbooks as we hit a day like today, which is the tax filing deadline for Americans. I do think, too, as you think about the future that the Americans are looking at, and we want to continue to have a Republican majority, preserve and protect what we have, expand upon it perhaps. But anytime you're running in a midterm election, you are facing political headwinds. That's just a reality. It's a historical reality. But we intend to overcome that because of a record of accomplishment that we're going to communicate to the American people. And part of that means raising the resources, getting the vote out on Election Day. But if we do that right, I think we have an opportunity not only to preserve and protect that majority, but to expand on it. And that's good for the American people if you care about limited but effective government, lower taxes, free enterprise, free markets, peace through strength. Being a party of pro-life, those are the things that we bring to the table, and that's a direct contrast to what the Democrats offer.
So obviously the war is on everybody's mind, and it also affects, obviously, gas prices. We've heard the White House say that they think that's going to be short term. We've heard the president say that he thinks that we're getting close to the end and getting to the negotiating table. We're going to talk a lot more about that in the program today. Senator Schumer, your colleague, has had very different opinions about the threat from Iran over the years. Here, let's play first, folks in the control room, if you would, what he just said this week on Tuesday about how he's going to vote every single week in the Senate to cut the president's ability to perpetuate this war. Watch.
Starting this week, we will bring a war powers resolution to the floor, and if Republicans block it, we will vote again and again and again. Our troops deserve a mission, not a mess.
So the vote failed once again, which is no big surprise. But here's what he was saying about Iran. In 2015, he was very much against the JCPOA under the Obama administration and urged people to be realistic about the evils of the Iranian regime. Watch this.
Under this agreement, Iran would receive at least $50 billion in the future. Who is to say that this same dictatorship will not prevail for another 10, 20, or 30 years? To me, the very real risk that Iran will not moderate and will instead use the agreement to pursue its nefarious goals is too great. Therefore, I will vote to disapprove the agreement.
Now he wants the war to stop immediately. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think like a lot of Democrats, he has a versatility of conviction on these issues, Martha, which changes over time depending on who's in power in the White House. Right now, the Democrats are blinded by their hatred of President Trump. It is Trump derangement syndrome. Anything that he's for, they're against. And the military success that we've already had with Iran is going to be transformational in terms of the impact that it has on national security, not only in that region, but also in the entire world. And so it's been a huge success. The issue now, of course, is the Strait of Hormuz, which the administration and our military leadership is singularly focused on, ensuring that the shipping lanes are open and that we take the last, if you will, leverage that the Iranian leadership has, and that is the economic leverage they have over that strait, and open up those shipping lanes. I think that has a huge impact, and it'll have a, again, a profound impact on gas prices in this country as things start to normalize there.
Well, they're seeing real consequences. There's no doubt about it. Finally, after all these years, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, always good to see you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Martha. Nice to be with you.
You as well. Thank you, sir.